Hurley in the morning. WPG Talk Radio 104.1.
And your phone call, sir, couldn't be more fortuitous because Governor Christie is here. But I've already written this and I've already said it about him. We have Governor Christie to thank. We're going to get sports betting. I have every belief from the moment that the United States Supreme Court took Governor Christie's case. And don't forget, all the freaks, all the partisans trashing the governor, that he's chasing rabbit holes and chasing unicorns and all this craziness. What a great effort Governor Christie put on to get this before the Supreme Court. Another thing that he did that I haven't had the chance to congratulate him on, he couldn't have chosen more wisely. Our former Solicitor General of the United States, who has argued successfully before the United States Supreme Court on countless occasions. I knew his wife before she died in the plane crash that hit the Pentagon, Barbara Olson. Ted Olson is absolutely awesome. He's going to slay this thing. And I wrote the piece I did because I want everybody to remember when my good friend, Governor Christie, a loyal and trusted friend, good man, when he is our former governor, and that will make me sad. And wait till you see how many people are going to miss him with the freak show that this state's going to be turning into. Just remember this spring or early summer, whenever the Supremes come out and do our victory dance for us, we're going to get sports betting, and it's because of Chris Christie. There's the answer to your question. I've answered both your questions. Thank you. Is this my governor?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was just bragging about you, sir, and you just happen to be here at the same time for other reasons. But let me congratulate you for your leadership, because a lot of people talked, hey, don't waste your time. Don't do this. You can't possibly get there. I think we're going to win this thing, Governor.
Listen, I feel very optimistic, Harry, after being at the argument on Monday. And you're right, by the way. The smartest thing we did was going out and getting Ted Olson right at the beginning. This was his 63rd argument before the United States Supreme Court, more than any other living person. And he's won 75% of his cases before the Supreme Court. So he did an amazing job on Monday. The court has enormous respect for him, and you can tell by the way they treated him during the argument. And we've got the better of this case. The state has the right, the citizens of the state have a right to be able to have sports gaming in their state if they want it. And they should be able to regulate it and make sure that it's done the right way. And that was our argument. It's not fair that Nevada is allowed to have it, and we're not. And so, I think I'm optimistic. Nothing is ever done until it's done. But it's been a long fight, Harry. That referendum was 2011. So we're talking 6 years of fighting in the courts. But you know me, and I think the people of New Jersey know me as well. When I really believe that we're right about something, I'll fight harder than anybody. And I think the fight's going to pay off come this May or June.
Don't you also feel that they wouldn't have taken the case in the first place unless it was their desire to overturn it, because they could have just let the lower court ruling stand?
They could have, and I think that was when we received the word they were taking the case, that made us initially optimistic. But, as a lawyer, Harry, who has some experience in the appellate courts, it's always a dangerous game to try to read too much into that stuff. So, listen, we now have our chance, and we've executed on our chance to make our best argument before the Supreme Court of the United States, and it was an amazing day. To be able to do that and to know that now we're going to get a final decision on all this. And I do in my gut believe that we've got a very good chance to win. And, Ted Olson himself, in fact, asked me on Monday, after we lost 6 other times in court, why did you continue to press this? And I said, because I believe we're right. And I think that's the way you should make decisions in this job. Is
the thrust of this an equal protection issue, 14th Amendment, where you can't let Las Vegas and 2 other states have something that the other states can't have? Is that the main winning strategy, or what are your thoughts?
No, the thrust of the argument is a 10th Amendment argument, Harry, that the federal government does not have the right to tell New Jersey what you must prohibit. That if the federal government wanted to prohibit sports gambling in every state in the nation, they could do that. but they can't tell New Jersey and the other 49 states rather, that they must prohibit sports gambling by their own state laws, yet let Nevada do it. And so it's really a 10th Amendment commandeering argument that you're commandeering the state of New Jersey to do something for the federal government that the state of New Jersey doesn't want to do.
What will that mean to you after maybe a half a year, maybe even a little bit more, after leaving office, that if that goes our way, we have you to thank for that?
Well, listen, the decision all along to do this was to try to help Atlantic City, was to try to give Atlantic City another edge to be able to continue its comeback, which is obviously going on right now. You look at what's going on in Atlantic City now. You look at the Hard Rock. You look at all the things that are happening that the private sector is driving there. And it's being driven, quite frankly, because we've brought sanity back to municipal government in Atlantic City. And, it's not a popular thing to do, but it was the right thing to do. And now, if we add sports gambling to this, in Atlantic City will have a jump on every place else in America to be able to do this. It's going to be another thing that differentiates Atlantic City. So my motivation all along for this was to give the people of Atlantic City another opportunity to help this great city restore some of what we had lost when competition on casino gaming across the region became much more intense. And so, Harry, for 8 years, I've been working extraordinarily hard to help Atlantic City. I've been totally committed to Atlantic City and making it better because I know how important it is for the region. And so this is just another one of those steps. So I'll feel great for Atlantic City if this turns out the right way in 5 or 6 months. And I know just by getting to the Supreme Court that we made the right decision to fight the fight.
Governor, I also want to thank you on a personal note because you found out about my wife's surgery, which is I just had a photo sent to me from the surgery room. It's about to begin, and that I'm going to join her. It's an extensive operation, so I've decided to do the program and then join Margie before she's even out of recovery. So I won't miss her, and she won't miss me. I'm going to see her when it's all done. She has a skillful surgeon by the name of Fernando Della Sota. He has 44 years of tough experience. He has great hands, and I believe, my wife is such a good person. She'll be blessed by God and his skillful hands, and she'll be hopefully put out of this pain that she's been dealing with for the past 4 years at the hands of just a distracted, reckless driver that crashed into her. My wife never saw it coming, and she has had significant pain for the past 4 years. She's never complained even once about it. And I know you've got a great partner with Mary Pat. You can relate to that. And it's the kind of thing where I wish I could be in there taking that, on her behalf. And it hurts more that it's happening to her than if it was happening to me.
Now, of course, and listen, we all know Margie. We love her. She's an extraordinary partner and supporter of yours, and a great mother, and in so many different ways. She helps to make possible what you do every morning for the people of the region. And so when I heard about her surgery this morning, I wanted to reach out to you privately, and then when I heard you were on the air, I figured I would call in also and just say to you, listen, we're all praying for her. We're confident that things will go well this morning, and that hopefully then it'll alleviate some of the pain that she's in, because you take that pain away from her, and watch out. Yeah. She's a force of nature. So, Harry, you might be careful what you wish for, buddy, because, she gets back on full strength.
I'm in trouble.
She's going to be all over you, my friend. So we're praying for her, though, and I'm confident that things will go well for her this morning. Good things happen to good people.
I have to say this to you, and I've said it to you before, both privately and on air. We live in very trying times. We live in a society where loyalty it's almost non-existent, and I want to thank you publicly. You've been such a loyal friend to me for more than a decade. We got together about 2 years before you ran for governor. I fell in love with you immediately, and we haven't had a disagreement in 10 years. You've been loyal to me. I've been loyal to you. That's the way it's always going to be.
I appreciate that, and we'll do a full hour together sometime between now and January 16th, where we can talk about all the different highs and lows of the last 8 years, and be able to let your viewers hear from my perspective what the last 8 years of being governor has been like. And I'll just tell you that from my perspective, your friendship has been one of the highs of the last 8 years. Your advice and counsel has always been wise and honest. And when you're governor, you need folks like that in your corner to be able to tell you what they think is best for you to be doing, because there's lots of decisions to make, and your compass isn't always 100% right. But I think, and I hope that what people will discover after a few years of having me out of the picture is that, I did what I said I would do, which was to make decisions in an honest and direct way, to not mince words with people, and to make sure that I was trying to lead in a direction that was productive for the state. And in every measure, whether it's the lower unemployment we have today, cut in half from where we were before, more jobs, more New Jerseyans working today than any time in the state's history, the great things that have happened in higher education, the things that have happened in Atlantic City. We have great things to look at. The wonderful stuff that's happening in Camden every day. The first quarter of 2017, Harry, only one murder in the city of Camden in the first quarter. It wasn't, you couldn't get through a week without a murder in Camden. All these things have been really wonderful things to have happen, and we'll spend an hour talking about it sometime between now and January 16th. But I've loved every minute of this job, and I will miss it. I've had a wonderful opportunity. Harry, you first heard of me when I was sworn in as governor, as a U.S. attorney. Mm-hmm. That was January 17th, 2002. I'll leave office as governor on January 16th, 2018. So it'll be one day short of 16 years that I've either been U.S. attorney or governor. I think the two most important jobs you can have in government in this state. So I've been extraordinarily blessed to have those opportunities and to do the jobs I've done. And I'm looking forward to whatever the next chapter is going to lead to for both me and for my family.
Governor, before you go, we do a program that I have to say is, pretty much a ripoff from your award-winning program, Ask the Governor, called Ask the Congressman, with our wonderful Congressman Frank Lobiondo, your good friend and mine. And this is the hour that we do this each month, and he is here right now. He's been listening for the last 10 minutes or so. And two of my favorites, I don't fall in love with many elected officials because they typically let you down, but two of my absolute favorites on the top of the list, Governor Christie, Congressman Lobiondo, and the first time ever we have you both at the same time. Congressman, say hello to our governor.
Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Frank. How are you?
Oh, we're rocking and rolling down here.
What am I going to do? In several weeks, my governor's going to be gone. In a year, my congressman's going to be gone. Lobiondo and I came in together, Governor. He's leaving us.
Listen, it's an enormous loss for the people of the state. And I want to remind everybody that the very first person who endorsed me for governor on the day I announced in 2009 was Frank Lobiondo. And so when you talk about loyal friends and extraordinary public servants, not only has Frank, both during his time in the state legislature and his time in Congress, been an extraordinary representative of the people of the region, but on a personal note from this governor, you always remember the first person who endorsed you, always. And Frank Lobiondo was the first person to endorse me in February of 2009 when I announced for governor. And so, Frank, it's kind of nice that we're both going out together, buddy. I appreciate it very much, all the help and support you've given me, and the great service you've given our country. The country is going to miss you, but I'm glad that you and your wife Tina and are going to be able to enjoy some time together without you hustling back and forth to D.C.
Well, thanks so much, Governor. And I've got my fingers crossed. And one of the topics that you talked about and is hot right now, and was glad to see you had made the trip to the Supreme Court a couple of days ago. We just hope that we've got one big victory left here, and your administration with sports betting. This would be a crowning touch.
It would be. And well, listen, Harry, I'm going to let you go to ask the congressman. I don't want to impede on any more Frank's time. So go to Ask the Congressman, because these people are going to miss this fella, and being able to talk to him on a regular basis, both in his district office and over these airwaves. So listen, God bless Margie. We're praying for her this morning. Please keep me up to date on how she's doing. Give her a hug for me when you get over there to see her, and let her know that the entire Christie family is praying for her and for her quick recovery and her pain-free life after this surgery. So you guys go get them. Go knock it out of the park. Give people a good show this morning, Harry. And it's great to talk to you. And, of course, Frank, we love you. So we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Governor, thank you. Thank you for being my good and loyal friend. Thank you, sir.